Alright, greetings everybody. Robin here from Courage is the Cure. It's the 14th, if I'm not mistaken, of August. Today is a special show. We are live from the Stop the Overreach Now rally, and we will see you in a little jiffy.
Strength of a woman world on her shoulders. Fight through the noise when the world gets colder. 832, got the grit, got the fire. Watch her rise, watch her come higher.
Alright, good morning everybody. Robin here from Courage is the Cure. It is the 14th of August 2025. I cannot see your comments because it's been moved around, unfortunately. But anyway, we're here at Parliament House, Perth, Western Australia, for Stop the Overreach Now rally about the WA gun legislation, cultural heritage acts, live exports, a few other things as well. So that's what we're here for today. I am going to see. Oh, they want me to share all sorts of silly things.
If you don't mind, thank you very much.
No, all right. So I'll take you down. Thanks.
No worries.
I'll take you down to just making my way through the police officers that are here to serve and protect. One way that you can let me know that you can hear me properly is just do a big dump on the thumbs up buttons, because I can see the thumbs up buttons very clearly, so that will help me to know that you guys can hear me okay. That'd be fantastic. But I am going to turn you around. We do have a number of speakers here today, and one of them being Dr. Brian Walker. You can see the crowd gathering behind me. This crowd is a little shy. Usually at Parliament House they will come right up to the steps. I don't know, maybe that'll happen when the speakers start. You can see right behind me there we've got corporate media, prostitute media, getting some shots there. No doubt they've been told to get some sound bites just to make a hit piece and make out that the gun owners, the lawful gun owners in Western Australia, are a bunch of criminals, probably. You can just see her to the side of my glasses there, getting some shots of the audience. That's the ABC corporate media camera. We also do have Channel 9 here, another corporate media channel who are completely useless and failed to do their job properly. Maybe I'll just go and stand next to them because, I like to keep good company, don't you? Hey? So one thing that I've noticed, here they are, there we go, we've got 10, we've got ABC, here we go, we've got another couple behind me, you can see them there, that is the corporate media, the prostitute cameras. She's got a camera out there with a trench coat on, looking like she knows what she's doing. I think they've just sent her out for the morning. And one thing I have noticed when I arrived here today is that through all the rallies that I've covered over the years, I can tell that I am aging, and the telltale sign is that now, when I'm live streaming from my phone, as I am at the moment, I need to use my glasses because I can't see the screen. All right, I'm going to turn everybody around so that we can get the audience in. Hello, how are you? Long time no see.
I know.
Turn you all around. And we can, so as you can see, this is Parliament House up here. The speakers should have already started there, but they haven't, not quite sure why. Can I see a comment? Oh, here we go. Chi-Chi. Hi, Chi-Chi. I don't know why I can't see them at the side. I think StreamYard have changed their settings for live streaming on a phone, and it just doesn't fit on the screen, you see. Oh, here we've got someone with a tofu shirt. We'll see if somebody wants to talk. No. Oh, there we go. Hi, Rachel, the lurkers. Yes. Thank you. Wonderful. Fantastic. Oh, StreamYard's changed their settings. It's very difficult to manage while I'm trying to live stream. Just start this from the stage, everybody. Alrighty, let's see if we can find some brave souls that'll talk. Yeah, so a lot of people are upset with SSAA, the gun club. They don't like to encourage people to rally. Hello.
Good, yeah. It's just a funny being back, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I've been. Yeah, well, that.
Husband had a heart attack, so
Well, my hubby was hoping to come somewhere
no, not at the moment. Not like,
Nice to see you. There you go. Morning. So there are a few people. Care of too many. There's King Cullen. King Cullen, say hello to Cafe Lockdown.
Hello, who?
Cafe Lockdown.
Oh, who are they? Hello, you guys. See you soon.
Yes.
Hopefully, yes. Don't forget, I'll have a party for you.
Thanks, Cullen.
Of course.
Oh. It's backwards. So, yeah, sure.
You're live streaming?
I am.
Okay. Are we on now?
Yes, we are.
Yeah, okay.
Fantastic. All right. Tell us your name and why you're here today.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Sam. I'm from, hang on, where do I look at?
So just look here.
Yeah, right, yeah. Okay. Yep. Hi, my name is Sam from Mark and Sam YouTube channel. We are here amongst other individuals because we're concerned about the overreach of government. And particularly today, we'd like to tell everyone in the upper house that this is their chance to do the right thing and vote in support of the disallowance. That's what we're trying.
Can you tell the audience what the disallowance is?
So the disallowance is actually against the Firearms regulations. So there's a Firearms Act which has gone through and is now in law. The regulations are what enforces the Act. The regulations haven't gone through yet, and what means by doing a disallowance motion by Brian Walker is that they will be stopped, and it doesn't mean there will be a lawless situation. It means they will simply go back to the 1973 Act, and we can start again and write something that is sensible and not how scandalous this one is.
as far as the speakers today, we've got, you just mentioned Brian Walker. Can you talk about any of the other speakers today?
Yeah, so there are a bunch of people who are all individuals who are concerned about the situation we're in and have, in doing so, want to tell people about things. We have Dave Finney, who actually started the e-petition and also is been one of the individuals who started this rally. He'll be talking and tell us things in his wonderful Scottish accent. Have Ralph from Conservation Australia and WA Shooting Association, who's going to be telling us part of his side of the story. And there may be a couple of other people who get a word in if they can alongside Brian.
Fantastic. I don't know if I can, it's kind of like asking people's medical status. Are you a gun owner yourself?
Yes, so I am a nurse and midwife, a proud West Aussie. We also own and run our own business, which is mechanical workshop. And yes, I am a proud Firearms licence owner. Yes.
What's been your experience with the new dashboard?
Portal?
Yeah.
Yeah, diabolically catastrophic. It is not currently functioning. The Auditor General has said clearly, so that's the government, has said that it's not working and it's not ready to be working for another year. It's so hard to get onto. It does not allow privacy for people and is part of a thing which would actually make you think if there's a government computer system that's not working, maybe that's what they want. Sorry.
Just so people in the audience can hear me. We had reports, I think it was last week or the week before, that there was a data breach with the new portal. Can you talk to the audience about that as well?
Yeah, so the data breach is actually a fact, and it was brought to the light to the public recently, last couple of weeks. But it actually the situation has been enforced from the beginning. It is about the security level that they have, which is insufficient. What it means is that in some places, different members are able to see other firearms owners and what they have in their firearms licence and where it's located. It simply is a fact of security is not adequate.
And for anybody that is perhaps wondering, well, so what if other firearm owners can see what other firearm owners have? Can you talk to us about the safety issues and security issues?
Yes, the very simple fact of that is that once that sort of information is out there, everyone has that information. So that puts every firearms owner at risk that anyone can know it, and then their security is definitely compromised.
What's your experience with, because I'd assume you'd have family and friends as well and people that you're helping with the new legislation and the hoops that they have to jump through. What's been your experience with people around you?
That's actually interesting that you should mention that, because with our YouTube channel we kind of had almost a unique perspective, because people are reaching out to us from all over the place that are just struggling, from farmers who have lambing season, foxes are getting out of control, they aren't able to use the firearms to do their euthanising as they would, lambs literally getting their faces eaten off. It's quite horrific. Other vermin being a big problem all over the place. We have people who have been licensed firearm owners who, for people who don't know, are some of the most law-abiding, respectful and conscientious people in the community, are being treated like villains. People who have heirlooms handed down from grandfathers from world wars in hundreds of years old, which is the only thing that they have left from their loved one, and then suddenly they have to hand it in to be munched because they can't legally be able to own that anymore. So it's quite devastating in all effects of things, and there's not one person who hasn't been affected by it. It is really making law-abiding citizens to be villains.
There's also some conversations, not nearly enough, I would suggest, about the doctors, especially in small towns, that have to sign off on mental health assessments. Can you talk about that as well?
Well, yeah, and there is really the majority of the medical profession don't want to be involved. As simple as that. They don't want to have their name on a piece of paper to ratify that. And again, it's people who are not haven't done anything wrong. May have usual health issues of being a human being, but then have to pass a test. It is quite unlawful.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard a few people talking, particularly in small towns, with doctors that everybody in small towns knows everybody's business, and it can cause some division.
Yes. And people, it sort of makes people not really want to come forward, for the fact that you might not be feeling well, or you may actually be feeling a bit down and depressed, as is brought on by these laws, but no one wants to come forward and say that now, because then you're definitely a bad guy. Doesn't help.
And just in terms of, you touched on it there about law-abiding gun owners and the animals. Now, of course, people have great affection, especially when you're talking about baby lambs and all those sorts of things. Not only people's flocks and those sorts of things, but could you also talk to us about kangaroos and the foxes as far as vermin, and how it's important that we do have firearm owners out there doing that?
Most people may not be aware is that the government really doesn't have any systems in place to control our introduced species that are causing havoc. Probably one of the worst is foxes, feral cats, feral dogs. On our wildlife, they have a huge impact. So we're already hearing people talk about more foxes around, and without the firearms, and what it is that people aren't able to get permission to do the hunting, and it's the conservation hunters who are the ones who would be helping to control these vermin. So we're definitely going to be seeing more impacts of that all over the place. Another thing that I wasn't aware of, but it's been shared with us on our YouTube channel, is with cattle. You think of cattle as being a big animal, but when they are down on the ground, they're birthing, the foxes will come in and bite the teats of the mother, and when the calf is being born, they will actually eat their faces. So it's going to be worse. We're going to see a lot more. There's people who have a sheep or a beast that they need to euthanize. They're not allowed to have their firearms anymore, so they'll have to use a sledgehammer. I've actually heard of that. It's just quite diabolical, and it's not getting any better. These are real world impacts that are happening. Kangaroos by the side of the road. And unfortunately, it is a fact that roos get hit by cars and roos, it just happens. When you see one that's injured on the side of the road, once again, you're not going to be able to euthanize it in a just and correct fashion. People are going to use their crowbar or their sledgehammer. It's simple as that. Real world impact.
It's horrifying to think about.
Yeah.
I'm a bush lady myself.
Yes.
I did have another question there.
Yeah.
As far as these, especially the strict legislation rules that came through at Christmas time last year, we have corporate media that like to put cameras in front of particular politicians, and they'll say that it's to protect society. We need to remove the guns from the streets. We want to make everyone safe and all these sorts of things. Do you have any data that you can talk to us about criminals and dangerous people with guns?
Yeah, so yes, it's an interesting thing, and it goes. Public safety has been thrown about forever. It's so far from the truth. If they were really about public safety, they'd be doing things like stopping cars on the roads. There's so many. So firearms deaths are very actual few every year. I think the actual number is that there were 15 in the last couple of years, and then when you take away the fact that police have caused some of those deaths, and some are suicide, which is a terrible and tragic situation, but the firearm was not the cause of those situations. So actual firearm deaths are very, very few. The real thing out there is, and it's put forward, and one of the other things they talk about is domestic violence. So in our laws forever, the firearms laws, the ones that are already in place for the 1973 Firearms Act, they have the ability for the police to remove firearms for someone who is a potential domestic violence situation or potential to cause ill harm. They have been able to do that for over 50 years. So it's been put forward that there's a reason that we needed to change things. Not to say that our laws couldn't be brought into 2025, that some changes mightn't be a bad thing, but the fact of being about safety is just a moot point. It's not.
Yes, I looked up some deaths as a result of guns, some figures and data in regards to that over the past 5 years,
Yes.
And it's very interesting
Yes.
to note that during a couple of particular years, the greatest number of people to die as a result of firearms in Western Australia, those guns were actually shot by police officers.
Yes,
and I'm just stating a fact,
Yes.
because that's information the general public don't know, and people won't know
That's right.
unless they go and look for
It's
it.
not shared. That's right. That's definitely information that's not shared. But you're right. It's a fact.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Can you just tell everyone your name once again?
Okay. So I'm Sam from Mark and Sam After Work YouTube channel. A proud West Aussie, and hopefully we can make a difference. This isn't the end of things. This is just a start. And thank you so much for being here.
Fantastic.
Nice to see you.
Can I give you this, and that's where you'll be able to find where everyone's watching from.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Sam. Alrighty, everybody. So there we go. There's Sam. That was very informative. It's good when you have people that are willing to speak. It's kind of strange situation, I have to say. But anyway, oh God, there's a lot of people here I don't particularly want to see. But anyway. Oh, look, I'm photobombing the ABC. Oh, dear. But anyway, yeah, so these gun laws, you know, really, the criminals who are causing problems are not these people behind me. And yet they're the ones that are being treated like criminals. It's just astounding. I'm going to turn you around again because you don't need to see my face. I have to say to everybody, I'm terribly sorry that I can't put your comments up. As I said, StreamYard has changed the settings on the phone here, so it's impossible actually. Oh look, isn't he cute? Hello, how are you? I'm live streaming. Would you like to tell everyone why you're here today?
I'm very shy.
You're shy. I knew it. Would you?
What are you live streaming for?
I'm part of independent media, Charity Secure and Cafe Like That, and a couple of different podcasts, and take that with you. That's where you can watch this.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Would you like to say why you're here?
Yeah, sure, I would.
Yep.
You know what? Yeah, I would do.
Yeah, good. Okay. All right, tell us your name and what you're doing here today.
Liam,
Hi, Liam.
I'm here today because I'm aggrieved with the process that our government have gone through to bring in the new Firearms Act. The old Firearms Act had been enforced for a long time. My personal opinion, yet there's certain things we could have done better with it. I get the actual. I've had firearms for 33 years, and I'm a law-abiding citizen. I get the public safety aspect. I've got a family. I've got young kids myself. So, yeah, there's certainly things that we could have done, but just the process that the government have went through, in my opinion, was wrong. How they done it. And for our Premier to come out this week and publicly state that there's only two sets of people that's concerned with it. That's our opposition and the Nationals. Obviously our Premier's very much mistaken. He's either very naive or he's bullshitting, some one of the two. There's a lot more people who are aggrieved by it. The Australian Medical Association, Doctors Association, all the shooting groups, pretty much everybody here. So if our Premier thinks that it's only the opposition, the Nationals that are on this, greatly mistaken.
What is it? What particular points would you say is it about the the government's procedures to try and push this through that's been most upsetting for yourself and people that you know that are gun owners?
The authoritarian way that they've actually gone about it, the lack of genuine democratic consultation with industry, with a lot of the stakeholders. We're pretty much shoehorned, just told this is how it's going to be. The government had the numbers, and basically they just rammed it through, which is undemocratic.
Yeah, I just saw a video this morning of Victoria's Prime Minister Jacinta Allen, and she's saying they're having public consultation about the right to work from home for 2 days a week. But you know, you're not the first person I've heard say there's a complete lack of real, genuine public consultation through this process.
This has been an ongoing process with our government over the last number of years. We had a similar fiasco with the Aboriginal Heritage Act a number of years ago. Just something that was dreamed up in a party room, and because they had the numbers, they just pushed it through. Unfortunately, they had to backpedal on that. So, look, at the end of the day, I'm not an anarchist or a redneck, and one thing that I believe is we do need regulations and such. We need stringent requirements to have firearms. I have no issue with that. Storage, no problems with it. Just the process, how these guys have gone about it, basically.
What's your thoughts on, I just had Sam speaking, we touched on the data breach for the portal that happened 2 weeks ago. What's your thoughts on that?
Not really sure how severe it is. It's kind of got to the stage where most firearm owners in Western Australia don't have any faith in the government to administer the system. Particularly after a couple of years ago, anybody in Western Australia that had a firearm, their location was broadcast on the front page of the West Australian. That's not a very safe thing to do, keeping in mind that these people have repeatedly mentioned public safety. That was not a very safe thing to do.
Can you imagine what would happen if you know, a local newspaper or a school newsletter accidentally printed, you know, the map of the gun owners in Western Australia? I mean, why is it that the West Australian didn't get into trouble for that? I fail to understand that.
The West Australian view on the new state government since it's been elected is quite different. If you have a look at, I'll probably leave it there.
Okay.
Probably leave okay. That one there.
Yep. Yep.
Am I still on record?
Yes, we're live. Yep. No, that's okay. You can say whatever you like, or don't say whatever you like.
What I will say is the West Australian has taken a totally different view on the government since they've been re-elected. It's no more easy ride. Prior to that, it was an easy ride. If any other private media outlet had basically put the politicians' home addresses on the front page of the West Australian, how do you reckon they would feel about that?
I think that's a great question, a great analogy. I think that's fantastic. Thank you so much for speaking to me today. You can check us out on that flyer. Courage is secure and go
public speeches.
You did fantastically well. You too. Lovely to talk to you. So there we go, everybody. We do have some brave souls. It is nerve-wracking for people. Let's go and harass the general public, shall we? No, we're not harassing anybody. We're just walking around. It can be quite nerve-wracking for people to speak on camera. So, yeah, the brave soul there that decided that he was going to talk, take my hats off to him. And acknowledging when he was going to speak and when he wasn't going to speak. I think that's a fantastic question. How would I? Joanne's here. She's telling me go away. How would politicians feel if we printed their addresses on the front page of the news, like the West Australian did with the gun owners? I mean, it's just outrageous. Hello, Rachel. Yes, the kitty litter times. Kitty litter times, indeed. See, there they are, getting people to hold up the signs. Take one photo. Hello. How are you?
That's good. I said, oh, I better be the volunteer for the whole family.
Yeah.
Come today. Yeah, go.
Yeah.
Realise it didn't start.
Yeah. Yeah. I was just having a laugh before. They're a bit shy. They won't come up and follow this fella.
Yeah, I know. For the 31st, like, have you found?
I want to take it on. You get it. Hey, Cretan. Like a double hug. How you going?
Good, good.
How you going?
Say
yeah,
morning.
g'day. Bella.
Yeah, well, if I go, it'll be to Cool.
Really sweet.
No, I did. No, I know.
Brian Walker.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Brian.
Space. Love.
Anyone donate to Common Law Sheriffs?
Hello, how are you?
How you going? Anyone donate to Common Law Sheriffs?
Yeah. Yeah. It just Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, good.
Hey, down in front.
When my actual friends want to say, "Oh, friend me on Facebook," she said, "Oh, you don't know that."
That's right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Interesting, that's for sure. No, she's just mental. Yeah. Yeah, well, that's
What are you filming? You gonna get up there? You gonna get up there and just interview the people? What are you doing? I haven't been sleeping.
what have you been doing?
What?
How are you? Look, right. Might just do a quick walk round. Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, look, the government just turned around.
Well, you know, before I left, he said, you can have the bread cooked by 2 o'clock. No problem. Well, I might have to ring you up to, turn you up. It's my job, cooking salad.
Alrighty, everybody. Sorry about that small interlude there of just mighty fine scenery of Perth, Western Australia. I was talking to one of the very valued supporters of Courage is the Cure, Miss Joanne herself, Miss Pickleball. She didn't want to face on camera, unfortunately, everybody, so that's why I had the camera turning on. Oh, we've got a little dog. Isn't he cute? That's why I had the camera turned away. But anyway, oh, look at that, it's backwards. Now I'm going to have to change the settings. Oh, God, that's annoying, isn't it? But anyway, so, we've got some people getting a little bit closer. Not so shy. Let me just change the camera because everything you look at is backwards. Let's see if we can change it, shall we? Hello. Kitty. Now, I have just found out, so there's Rod Caddies from One Nation. He's been giving it to him in Parliament, which has been great to see. Uh-oh, dog fight. Oh dear, dog fight. There's Rod. So that's been good to see. Him giving it to him. Is that going to work? Is it? No, it's still backwards. Why is it still backwards? Who else do we have up there? Oh, anyway. That's okay. Oh, look. Another 12-year-old. Is it bringing children to school, to work day? I think it is, bringing children to work day. It's still backwards, isn't it? Yeah. There's Michelle. Say hello to everyone, Michelle. Yeah, so let's go and watch those dogs, shall we? Everyone's slowly making their way closer to the steps. That's what I was going to say. The speeches start at 12. That's why we're standing around for an hour, which gives me the absolute shits, to be honest, because it isn't free for me to stream. It actually costs me a fair whack of money to stream live like this. But anyway, so we'll be waiting until 12 o'clock until the speeches start. So that is 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Look, there's one of the culprits. And there's the other culprit. Oh, look. Aren't they cute? Got a Don't Tread on Me flag. That's good to see. Nice. Right, we'll just... there's Yvonne. Yvonne, do you want to say hello to Cafe Locked Out?
Yeah, I'd love to say hello.
Yeah, great.
Hello, Cafe Locked Out. This is Yvonne speaking. Now, what do you want to ask me?
Why are you here today, Yvonne? What are you doing?
Well, because I've got my pastor, who's a gun owner, and his children do competitive shooting. And they're having difficulty with the new gun laws. And I've got a dancing friend whose husband has some antique guns and he doesn't want to lose them. Mm-hmm. And then my sister is a shooter. She does that where you fire stuff in the air and shoot at it, and she's very good. And my brother-in-law's given up on the gun laws and handed his guns in.
That's sad.
So I'm here because of that.
Fantastic, Yvonne. Thank you so much, Yvonne. And for everybody, Cafe Locked Out, Yvonne is a wonderful supporter of Cafe Locked Out and Courage is Cure. Thanks, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Everyone's moving out, so lovely. They're being brave, everybody. They're being brave. Is this why you came?
No. What about that?
I have to see.
Hello, Courage is Cure.
Hey!
She needs to get a different Yeah, get up the front, girls. I've lost it.
All right, here we go, everybody. Getting organised. Hello, Andrew. Good, how are you? That's good. Well done. That looks like a good spot. Can't see the phone.
I thought you'd be down. You'd be down bus. I thought you were doing down there today. Wind turbine or something. No. Said my thing. She was armed down here today.
Oh, okay. No.
But I saw Andrew down there.
No.
Saw Scotty.
Yeah.
He's floating around.
Yeah. Showing his camera in people's faces.
Good taste.
It's very good.
Hello? Yep, right with that guy. Well, I would like to just thank you all for being here. I'll just very briefly give you my story without boring you too much. This started off as just a petition, and it grew from there. Thanks to people like you. This is not an organization. I'm not standing up for anybody. I'm standing up for you people, the community, and you are standing up for yourself. So this grew into a rally, and I'm just a retired shooter trying to do the right thing. They got upset with a government that basically has decided it is going to tell us what to do. Let's be honest, there is only one intention here. It is to control us and disarm us. They can paint it any way they want. So today is about you. Thank you for attending. Thank you for supporting, funding the advertising campaigns and spreading the word. Could not have done this without you. And And also, I would like to especially thank those that have travelled huge distances to be here. We have people. We have people here from Denmark who are doing a 10-hour round trip. We have people here from Kalgoorlie. You are the stars in this show. That dedication shows that we are not going to go away quietly, and it's time that the government started listening. I also would like to thank the 20,000 people, many of whom can't be here today, that actually signed my petition, which started this journey. That is a huge response, and that has given us, if you like, a lead into today's event. That petition was tabled by Brian Walker on Tuesday, and has set the scene for today and his motion, which is following today. One piece of disappointing news I do have to share with you, and this perhaps shows that they are getting a little worried about us. They have decided that the public gallery, which you should be able to go to and watch this debate, has been closed today. So there you go. There is the level of contempt that is being shown to you by the people you are paying their wages.
That is overreach.
Before I get too much further into this, I will just do one piece of housekeeping for you people. Anyone that needs the toilet, it's over on the left, under the trees. So yesterday, the Minister, Mr. Whitby, decided to launch into us, or to me. He said that the rally organizer was spreading misinformation. That's a bit rich from the kings of misinformation. I am not an organization. You are the people, and it's time they woke up to it. I've never generated fake AI images, but they don't like the fact that some of those maybe showed the truth because they have not pointed out any lies to us. In fact, he even scored himself a few home goals in his rant yesterday, where he told us that if we disallow this, he won't be able to take guns off criminals. That's a home goal. That's his job. That's what we paid him for. You then had the cheek to disrespectfully throw in the Florian situation. That was tragic, and his police force were advised and could have stopped that. Under the Wars Act today. So, I mean, to talk about relationships and domestic issues, we have a relationship, or we should have, with our government. But then a government relationship with you, the people, is actually quite toxic. They run a smear campaign against you with no statistical evidence whatsoever. They then decided that they would use control, which sounds like a domestic situation, and control you and tell you what you can do, what tools a farmer can use, what people he can have on his land. And then he got to the next level, which is abuse. How many of you people feel that you have been bullied and abused by your police force? That's exactly what they want to call you. You are not a criminal. You're a responsible shooter. So I am absolutely livid with this government and what they have done and how they've used the media against us. So why are we here today? We're here to support Brian in his disallowance motion. And Brian will speak to us. And Brian will explain what it means and what it does. But if I were to put it in my simple terms, it's a method where if someone makes a mistake in Parliament, we can all say, oops, we got it wrong, we were under pressure, we made the wrong decision, let's fix it. And as I say, Brian will explain that more, but this is an opportunity for politicians to fix it. We also need to understand that Parliament is only one part of your firearms controls. There is the Act, which unfortunately only 3% of it went through the parliamentary debate process. The rest was rushed through because there was some urgency. Where did that come from? There is no urgency. Then we give the police unfettered power called regulations. These are laws, binding laws that can be changed any day without any parliamentary review. The police commissioner can decide on the day he doesn't like the look of your firearm, it's gone. But that's not where they stop. They then have another level of control, and that's called guidelines, where they can invent all kinds of forms and conditions. And it gets farther than that. They have what they call policy. So Parliament has got one of 4 parts in this. We have handed the police 3 parts of this process. And unfortunately, what has happened, and I will be quite direct, the police are not the problem. The police have a very small anti-gun fanatical core. And that core has been trying to disarm us for decades. And what our politicians have done is enabled that core to go out of their way to create every obstacle, every financial pressure, every condition on your lives. Now, there's one other more scary part of this as well, and this is actually in the Act. This gives the police minister, not the police minister, the commissioner, the power to remove your privilege. Your gun is your privilege, based on your attitudes, your opinions, on your views. That is censorship 101. This is touching on a communist social credit system. And we need to realize, if this thing is introduced in Western Australia, it'll go nationwide. So you people here today, you are here to say no. Now today is timed around firearms, but this is not a firearms issue. This is an overreach issue. This is the way of life. It's your 4-wheel drive, the beaches you can go to, what parts of national parks you may enter. This is everything. This is the farming community.
Yeah.
Now, excuse me reading this, but I'm not a professional speaker. This was, I think, a summary from someone who calls himself just KP1154. And he said online, first they came for the guns, but I did nothing because I am not a hunter. Then they came for the 4-wheel drivers, but I did nothing because I'm not an off-roader. Then they came for the farmers, but I did nothing because I am not a farmer. Finally, they came for me, and there was no one left to help me. Absolutely. The regulations are a disgrace. 327 pages of stuff a lawyer would not understand. This information should not be in the hands of the Commissioner. It should have been put into the Act if we were going to do the job properly and given it proper parliamentary review. And later on today, another example of this was the insistence that you use a digital ID on their system. Let's just be clear, this is illegal. In Australia, digital ID is voluntary. But our police decided to suggest to you that you must do it. And I wish to thank a lady called Deb Taylor. Deb has found a way of helping people under stress. And the stress in our community has been massive. She's helping them to avoid this digital system and make the police actually work for us, do their own paperwork, and fill in their own forms. Thank you, Deb. You are a star. So today, and I will say this quite publicly in the hope that some of our politicians hear it, is a day when they have a very simple choice. There is only two directions. They can either decide that they will do for the public the right thing. They will send these flawed rules and regulations back to get it to us in a standard level that we can actually get some sense out of it. Or they can actually dig their heels in and say to us, we do not care for the people of Western Australia. We are your masters. We are going to tell you what to do because we are in control. So there's only two directions for politicians today. One is to say, oops, maybe we made a mistake. What can we do better? Or tell us what they are really made of. So we will watch today. We will record which MP votes for and against. Who is going to look after our shooters, our farmers, our four-wheel drivers? Who's going to give us our rights back? Yeah. And we need to remind them that we pay their bills. They work for us. Now, having said all that terrible things about our politicians, I would like to hand you over to one who has done the right thing. I would like you to put your hands together for Dr. Brian Walker.
So, you want to hear from a politician, huh?
Politician.
Now, I'm not sure I can do that for you because I'm just a simple doctor. I chose to come into politics for a very simple reason. I came into politics for a very simple reason. The government was killing my patients. And I said to myself, no. I'm coming in here to fight for the lives of my patients. And I have to tell you, I was surprised when I came in because when I spoke to the politicians who are here, the career politicians, they're actually really nice people. But they're part of a system, and that system is dysfunctional. One thing you've got to realize about politics is that truth matters nothing in politics, not a single sodding thing. It's all about the perception of truth and the control of the narrative. That matters. And the narrative so far is that you all here collected are all criminals. You are a danger to the public, and they ought to be frightened of you. So if they divide us like that, who else are they going to divide? Everyone. Because dividing people, you can control them better, because this is not just about truth. It's also about who is coercively controlling us. But we are being coercively controlled. So we're finding our freedoms are being eroded bit by bit. You think this Firearms Act is the only thing? Well, it's not. We've just got a post and boast bill we've just actually sent to committee. And that post and boast bill will allow the government to actually, at a whim, tell the government, the people, the police, to arrest you for things which happened 5 years ago and you put on Facebook. So your free speech is actually being cut. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't particularly like people online spouting hate towards other people. I think that's just improper. We need to be kind to each other. There's not enough kindness in the world. On the other hand, if they're telling us to shut up and be quiet, I'd say, why? What are you hiding from us? Why are you doing this? So how are they doing that to us? Well, I'll tell you one way. They're educating us to be obedient little workers. They're not teaching us critical thinking skills. You've obviously got critical thinking skills because you can see behind the facade of what's happening about freedom for the people and peace for the people here, because you apparently are the enemy. You're the ones who are, I beg your pardon, you've all got weapons, have you? You've all got safes, have you? It's all locked away. Ammunition's kept separate. Bolts are kept separate. My goodness. You'd think that when they said we're taking 90,000 weapons off the streets, he was taking them off the streets, but he wasn't. He was taking them out of locks and safes and keeping them safe. So, I have to ask you, who here was telling the lie? Was it you or was it the police minister? And do you think he's the only one in government who doesn't quite tell the truth? So we're putting up a disallowance today because the act has gone through. You know, we tried to stop that. We had the COVID-19 emergency bill, which allowed them to actually put laws through with just a little bit of time, because they're giving you enough time, surely. So there's 496 clauses. We managed to debate 4 of them. 4. And then lump by lump, we went through saying, yes, we've got to vote for that. The government, of course, had the overwhelming majority because it was at that time an autocratic dictatorship. And they called it democracy, and there's anything but democracy. We had no free speech at all. We put motions forward, they altered the names of the motions, so we couldn't actually debate what we wanted to debate. There was no freedom of speech in this House. It's a bit different now. Did someone mention democracy? Well, what I'm looking at is democracy. What I'm looking at is the people standing up and saying, not with me, not with us. Stand with us. Did I hear someone shout freedom? Well, you listen to my accent. Listen to have you not heard a Scottish accent or two around about here? And that famous film there, Freedom. Well, no. Here we are, looking at the world round about us. What's happening in the world? People are staying quiet, and what's happening? Bad things are happening because the people are staying quiet. Why are we staying quiet? We've been told to stay quiet. Be obedient. We'll look after you. Trust us. We're the government. So I'm putting a motion forward today for disallowing the regulations. Now, we had question time yesterday. Now, question time is actually called question time. It's not called answer time for a reason. It's a question time. Was the question answered? No, it was not. So the police minister currently gets up and tells us that he is unable, if the motion passes, we're going to lose our ability to control the weapons, so it's going to go in the hands of criminals, and there'll be no laws, no regulations, so there's free slather, people will die on the streets, basically. Do you know the sad thing? I think he actually believes what he said. Because no one can be that stupid. Now let's take an example we had just in the last term of Parliament, when we had actually the Aboriginal Cultural Heritage Act, which wasn't a bastard of a bill to come through in the first place. And we told them so because they hadn't consulted with the Indigenous people. They said they had, but they hadn't. What, another lie? You surprised me. And so the bill was taken back, very rightly so too. Do you know what happened? Another law was passed that next day to allow the old act to be reinstated with the regulations. Now, the current police minister was in the business of politics then as well. He knew what happened. So what is different? Well, he certainly wasn't smoking what I can offer. This is laid on us the thought that if this motion is followed, then the people will be put at risk. That was a blatant lie. What's more, it's a lie he knew about. And the people he was standing beside knew about it as well. And are we going to put up with politicians barefacedly lying to us? Now, what you've got just now is just one example for the Firearms Act. Where else has that happened? We need people to be active and standing up and telling the politicians, like me, what you want to have happen, because we need to be serving you, not you serving us. Now, I have to say a word about the police. Now, I have to tell you, the police that I know are wonderful people, doing a great job. I want them to go home safe to their families. You all are probably on the more conservative side of life. And you probably wouldn't have cast a vote for me in the last Parliament or the Parliament before. I don't care. I serve you. You have your weapons in the safe. You obey the law. You follow what's right and proper. You are not the problem. The police are simply doing what the laws tell them to do, even if they don't want to. I'll tell you a story, actually. I went into to have my weapons relicensed. I call them weapons because I learned how to kill people. So I had my weapons relicensed, and the copper behind the bar says, you know, about this legislation coming in, we're all with you. Because the police themselves don't want this law. They know it's not going to help. It's going to give them more work. They can't run it. You see what's happened now with the portal. Who has tried and failed to get through in the portal? And you know why? It's because they haven't been funded, they haven't been given the time to set it up, even if the legislation is crap. So the money has been spent on wasting your time and turning you overnight into criminals, so they can legitimately say you're criminals. And the narrative is there, of course, because you have the weapons and we're in danger here. Which is why they closed the gallery, because I don't know, maybe they're frightened of the people they represent. Is it possible? Is it possible that your voice could actually be important to the politicians in this House? I hope so. I bloody well hope so. Because without you, we're wasting our time here. So I'm going to ask you, not just for this, but for all the other areas where our freedoms are being encroached and taken away from us, salami slice by salami slice, piece by piece, it's up to us, the people. We, the people, must arise. And remember, look after our police because they look after us. As for the politicians, well, we can take our chances.
Make a noise. Make a noise. So there you go, folks. We have politicians on our side. And I would like to introduce you to another dedicated politician, Mr. Rod Caddies of One Nation, who would like to say some words as well.
Hey guys, great to see so many of you turn up here today. It's a very important issue, and this issue wouldn't have arisen if we didn't have a Labor Party drunk on power for 4 years. 4 years. This Labor Party, they're not going to have the same power this term. They've got a whole different crossbench, a whole different opposition in this House this term. So yesterday they put this post and boast bill. You've already heard of that. Yesterday I stood up and spoke, and you would have seen maybe some of you in the media. I stood strong on our freedoms of speech yesterday, and I said there's no way that post and boast bill will be passing through this House with any of my vote going with it. We aren't elected to be quiet in the background and just to go along with what we think some people are thinking. We're meant to be out there, have our ears on the ground and be your voice. And I believe that your voice was telling people before this Firearms Act went through that you didn't want it, that it's not good and that it shouldn't have passed. But the Labor Party don't care about what you think. They care about what's best for their party and what makes them look good in certain people's eyes.
Follow the party line.
That's it. There's no party line when you come to One Nation. We have a motto. We've got the guts to say what you're thinking. Now, I can't speak too much about any more on the firearms stuff. For anyone that doesn't know, I'm on the committee that's looking at this Firearms Act. So believe me, you'll have someone there that believes in true democracy. And I'll be looking at everything I can. I've had hundreds of emails from many of you, I'm sure. So many people around Western Australia telling me all the bad things that are in this Firearms Act. And not the things that are all put out there by the Labor government and the scare tactics about why we should or shouldn't do things with this, but the true reasons, the unintended consequences, as well as the probably intended consequences that aren't good for you. So today, hopefully, I don't know how many others in their chairs will be voting for this disallowance, but I can guarantee you, One Nation, myself and my Phil Scott with One Nation, who's with me. I'm not sure where he is. He's around here somewhere, but we'll be voting definitely to support this disallowance motion by Brian Walker. This is true democracy. This is when you should be standing up and fighting for what the people want. And the Labor Party could back off. They could change things without this needing happening, but they don't want to. They're so arrogant that they still think they can do whatever they want. Well, today we're telling them that's not happening. Over the next 4 years, they'll be held accountable. So I won't say any more. I just wanted to, like I said, I couldn't say too much because I'm on the committee, but I wanted you to know that myself, Phil Scott, and our party One Nation are fully behind you in what you're trying to achieve, and we'll be there to help you all the way and represent you with a true voice and not one that represents themselves. Thank you.
Thank you, Rod. And as Rod said, he is working for us on the review. And just so we know that the responses he's getting, there's something like 2,600 submissions to that. That's an excellent turnout. And yeah, that's a lot of submissions to go through. It's going to take them a long, long time. Now, I don't want to hog the microphone too much. So I will be soon passing you over to a couple of other people. But I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the lies. The police said they consulted the farming associations. Then they ignored the PGA and what they said. They claimed they consulted the firearms industry. Now I can tell you, I know people in the firearms industry, and those consultations contained the following sort of starting position. We're not here to debate. We're here to tell you what we're doing. That's not consultation. And then they told many of our shooting associations, our club members for competitions, don't worry, you'll be okay with your competition guns. And guess what? They started shutting down the rifle ranges, the pistol ranges. This is a concerted lie and coercion. That's enough from me. I would now like to pass you over to someone who is a veteran, the President of Conservation Australia, and the President of the WA Shooting Association, who has been very supportive of me. He has helped me along the way to get here. I'd like to introduce you to Ralph Foley.
Well, hello, and thank you for turning up. Are there any other veterans here? Fantastic. So welcome to all the firearms licence holders that have turned out today. It's fantastic to see you. And I'm sure there's a lot of associations here, which is also fantastic, representing their members. We are here to support the disallowance motion, the Brian Walker disallowance motion that'll be moved sometime today. I want to make some thank yous. I'd like to thank the Nationals Party collectively, but in particular Shane Vogt. I'd like to thank the Liberal Party collectively, but particularly Nick Gorian. One Nation, Rod Caddis. The Greens, Brad Paddock, who stood by and voted for the Act to go to the Standing Committee, which Rod spoke about and he's heading up. And of course, I'd like to thank Legalised Cannabis and Dr. Brian Walker, wherever he is. Excuse me, moving on. Dave Finney. Now, what an example of leadership. I mean, that guy has put himself out there. He's come from nowhere. Not representing an association, but he's gathered a group of people. He's been dedicated and he's worked his butt off. He instigated the petition and he worked with Dr. Brian Walker on that, who was a sponsor. That petition of 20,000 odd votes. Now, I just want to go back to the other petition that Brian Walker sponsored. That had 32,000 votes. Can you believe it? And it got into this place and Labor didn't even look at it. Took no notice, gave no acknowledgement to 32,000 West Australians that signed that petition. Okay, back to Dave. Look, he organised the GoFundMe. Those funds have been used on a very good campaign. He organised all the papers that delivered those advertisements, some of the country papers. So that's some of the work Dave's done, and also organising this rally. I'd also like to thank Dave's many assistants, and some of them will be speaking today. Speaking about myself, I got my first air rifle when I was about 12 years old. I bought it from the proceeds of my paper run. I was living in Victoria. You could buy the air rifle back in those days at the local sports store. And that was my passion of firearms, and it's carried me all the way through my life. It's that passion for firearms that led me to the Army Reserve to further my knowledge. And I was in the reserves for 7 years. I then went regular, and I did my selection, was posted to SASR. I got more firearms and more shooting under my belt, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So the point I'm making here is the government got a good run out of me because I was a firearms enthusiast. On the other side of the army, I'm now standing here. I'm demonised, I'm treated like a criminal, and I'm mortified. The Veteran Firearms Owners Club requested a meeting with Mr. Papalia last year. And his staff said to me, well, he's pretty busy, right? He's pretty busy to meet with veterans. He may be able to fit you in for 15 minutes between meetings. Well, I didn't even bother after that. I mean, that was just insulting. And he was, I think he still is, the spokesman for Veteran Affairs. Or Veterans Spokesman, whatever his title is. I want to talk about competition. So I shoot at Warra. I shoot another number of competitions, but I shoot at Warra. And I particularly single out Warra for competition shooting because there's a lot of old guys that shoot there. They don't take that offence to that old guys, but there's a lot of old guys that up there. And they get on their little gophers and they get up to the mound where they've got the rifle in the back, in the box, and they get down there and they put their jacket on, they put their sling on up over their arm, and they get out and try and shoot the best score they can. And it's bloody fantastic. But where I'm going with this is, that's those guys' bowling club. They don't go to the bowling club, they go to the rifle range. That's where their interaction is. They meet younger people, all age groups, and of course they're there with their elder mates, shooting and doing the right thing. Now, a lot of these guys are pensioners, and being a pensioner, they don't get too much money. So it's a crisis when the toaster blows up. It's a bloody crisis. You know, $100 toaster, you're a pensioner, try and find the money to do that. But however, what the government is now saying, and some of these guys are going to be swept up with it, they're going to have to go out and buy a new safe, $2,000 safe. Now, where are they going to get the money for that as a pensioner? But this is where it doesn't make sense. None of those rifles they use, those single-shot rifles with the 32-inch barrels or whatever the hell they are, and the tunnel sights, none of those are the rifles that criminals want. They're not interested in them. They're not the ones used for drive-bys. So get some sense. Leave these guys alone. Leave the seniors alone. Juniors. Righto. Anyone that's involved with any of the junior shooting programs will know that it's become particularly difficult with administering them. There's a lot, well, in all shooting disciplines, relative to the ranges, there's a lot more administration from the volunteers required. But with juniors now, they're talking about one supervisor per junior. Now, how the hell are these small clubs going to do that? Already, the PCYC has suffered. They've closed down their shooting programs, and I think there was something like 6 PCYC clubs through the state. They've all closed down their shooting programs. The Ryan Club, they're suffering. They've got a lot of air pistol juniors there. They are really struggling to keep up with these regulations and the requirements. And let's face it, the club safety records, all the clubs, all the association is fantastic. It's fantastic. It doesn't need police. It doesn't need intervention in the regulations. They don't need intervention with the regulations. The associations, the clubs have been doing it for years and they do a fantastic job with managing safety. They do not need another layer of safety. Leave them alone. Disabled. Wowee. Look, I think I'm just going to say, leave them alone. Disabled shooters, let them get on. It's good for their mental health. They're getting out of the house, they're getting up to the range, or wherever they're going, and they're engaging with other people. So it's fantastic. Leave them alone. So in actual fact, this government should be supporting juniors, seniors and the disabled, not making them feel like criminals, not making it over arduous to get on with the sport they love. Okay, I want to talk about, it's sort of been alluded to a bit here, I want to talk about firearms recovery. So the Australian Institute of Criminology says in WA that the recovery rate of stolen firearms is only about 15%. Can you believe that, 15%? I mean, you fail. It's a failure. So, of 100 firearms that might be stolen from licensed and law-abiding firearms owners, 85 of those 100 firearms remain in the criminal hands. Now, surely that is a public safety issue. And there's no doubt about it, it is a public safety issue. The point I'm getting to here is nowhere in this discussion on the regulations and improving the Firearms Act, there's been no discussion or initiatives from the Police Minister of improving the recovery rate of stolen firearms. The target, he should have said to the Police Commissioner that the target is 100%. And I'm going to give you extra resources. I'm going to give you extra police. I'm going to give you extra firearms forensic guys. And I'm going to give you cutting edge, bloody crime scene kits, whatever, DNA kits or fingerprint kits. And your target is to get that rate to 100% because this is a public safety issue. No mention of any of that. Okay, I'd like to acknowledge the licensing branch. I know the police officers there are working very hard. I think most firearms licence holders would be very happy to see sensible regulations, and we're not seeing that at the moment, or sensible legislation. We're not seeing that. So we support sensible legislation. My final message is, we want the opposition and the crossbench to support this disallowance motion that's going to be heard today in this House.
Thank you, Ralph. And Ralph touched on a very important item, and that is the mentorship of shooters, the social interaction. We've got a government that is telling us we've got to go for a mental health check when they are piling huge mental stress onto us. Does that sound good? The farmers who can't get enough shooters to protect their lambs, that's putting them under stress. Firearms are not just the competition, they're tools of trade to many people. And what right does someone sitting in an office in the city have to tell a farmer what he can do and what he can't do on his property? What I would like to do now, I would like to hand you over to Mr. Steve Harrison, who is he's a dual role. He is the lead of the Shooters Union in Western Australia, and they very quickly came on board and were supportive, and he's been a big help to me. He has another organisation which he's working on, and kindly provided the PA system that you're listening to this message on today. So thank you, Steve. Please have a few words.
I'm going to start by kicking off and saying thank you to a few people. Shooters Union WA is the group that I represent in Western Australia. Shooters Union is here to support Dave Finney, it's here to support Brian Walker, it's here to support you and the rally attendees. And I'm going to add one more group to this. I've noticed a few blue hats in the group with an acronym that starts with an S and ends with an A. And I'm going to say to you guys and ladies, welcome, welcome, welcome. I think this mic's a bit dicky, but anyway. Okay, so those of you here today have chosen to take a positive position on a collective struggle to right firearms legislation wrongs. So I'm not going to talk too much to the legislation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about the sentiment that the legislation has brought to us as a community and the damage that it's causing us as a community. So Shooters Union, with others, has consistently fought against
the 2024 Firearms Act. We haven't stopped. 4 years since that map was published, I have been absolutely livid. Absolutely livid. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a... What? Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. The legislation is deployment against law-abiding citizens. It's a little bit like the legislation that was discussed this morning in relation to the posting of crimes, vehicle thefts, etc., where they've got inclusions in that legislation that infringe on our civil rights, our right to speak, our right to stand up, our rights to say what we feel is right at that time. And it's being criminalised, and it has to stop. It just goes on and on and on. Every piece of legislation that's brought forward by Labor governments. Labor governments. Okay, communist Labor governments. Let's go there. So let's talk about me. I see myself as a conventional Anglo-Saxon male, and I believe honestly that since the age of 8, and I've been hunting since the age of 8, I owned my first firearm at the age of 8, I believe it's part of my tradition and my culture. And that hasn't changed. And further, there are elements within the shooting community who will demand the right to be acknowledged as traditional and cultural in the hunting area, and they will want to pass those skills and that information down to their progeny and their descendants. Well, guess what? I want to do exactly the same thing. I want my kids and I want my grandchildren to know how to shoot, how to safely manage firearms. I want them to know how to sharpen a knife. And I want them to know if there's a real need, how to go and find protein so that they can eat it. So I think I'm traditional. And the other side of that too is, unless I'm found to be unsafe in some way in the possession and management of a firearm, I should simply be able to license a firearm as a law-abiding member of our community and use it lawfully in any way I choose to use it. Okay, so I'm now 67 years of age. I've been shooting effectively since the age of 8. I'm a police veteran in WA, 40 years. And I'm just wondering, and I'm not selecting anybody, but I'm just wondering, why is it that I don't have a green light and a pass to own a firearm without all this rubbish and additional legislation and constraints in our community? And
the government doesn't trust you.
they don't want us to do that. They are disarming us. They are disarming us. And no one can provide the answer to that question. Why are they doing this?
Because they're communists. They're communists.
That's twice. Okay, so what about, along with Rod and Brian, why don't we ask the government today to acknowledge us? Why don't we ask the government today to acknowledge our traditional and cultural link to firearms and using firearms in a hunting environment? And that's not to put a slant on club shooters at all. And why can't they stop this legislation so all of the people here can have the opportunity to input and guide the legislation? If they want new legislation, that's fine. But can we just make it logical, sensible, and can make it fit with community expectations? How about that? Okay, there's something that hit me in the face probably about a couple of months ago, and I can't shake this thought, and I don't know how pertinent it is to our current government, but it's looking like it belongs. And the phrase is simply this: you cannot comply your way out of tyranny. You cannot comply your way out of tyranny. So let me give you some information around the sentiment of that statement. So you cannot comply your way out of tyranny is a sentiment that expresses the idea that passive obedience in cooperation with an oppressive regime will not prevent its harmful actions and may even enable them. This predicts a continuance of oppression and a gradual effort to erode your rights and freedoms until you have none. Okay, so I'm going to move to a couple of questions now. The first question I've got, and I'll put it to you guys, and if you can answer it, shout it out, because I've been looking for this answer. What is Labor so afraid of that it requires this course of action where it moves to disarm the community? What is it? What's the reason? Where does it sit? Where does it rest? Where is it spawned from? Who's pushing this vile message out? Who's doing that? Okay, so where to from here? I think that's the question we're all asking, right? So the answer that we get from Parliament today is going to be part of that statement, where to from here. And I can tell you, I don't think that I will be able to rest if it doesn't get up. If the disallowance motion doesn't get up and we get the regulations put to one side today, I don't think I'm going to rest. Let's have a show of hands. Who's not going to rest? Who's not going to rest? Okay, so here's something for Governor to jot down. Excuse me, guys. Stop the war on licensed firearm owners and stop using community safety improvement lies and propaganda. Instead, fix the ambulance ramping and improve the lot of domestic violence victims. If they want any help, guidance, assistance or suggestions, put your hand up if you will help them fix either of those two issues. Okay, so we've got a team together, a consultancy group. That's a bit unusual for this mob, isn't it? Can't hear you, mate. I'm deaf. Okay, so what I'm going to say to Parliament today is stop with the arrogant ministerial attitudes and refusals to serve your community appropriately. Take your place as servants of the community and respond effectively and appropriately when asked. We're not getting that. We're just not getting that. We're not getting it at the state level, and we're definitely not getting it at the federal level. So, you know, the whole thing is just one big game painted red, right? Surely. Well, here's another one for you, right? What about if we stop the evasion of accountability by parliamentarians and governments? As soon as you find a significant issue, as something significant enough that brings them to the microphone, when they should be saying, sorry, I got it wrong, I remain accountable for that. Instead, we get propaganda and hype and spin and bullshit. And I think that yesterday, with the current police minister and the noise that he made about, you know, the confusion and ruckus that the disallowance motion is going to bring if it's successful, has been touted as a lie. I'm not accusing him of lying, but there's plenty of people out there that are, right? It's been touted as a lie. The day before this rally, what is it with this game? What is this propaganda we keep getting subjected to? We have to say no. We have to find an alternate mechanism to get our message out, and we have to be fact-checked left, right and centre, including everybody else, to make sure it's the truth. A very unusual package of information these days within media generally. But I believe we should have the truth. The other point I want to raise is the cost of this firearms review, whatever they want to call it. How much money have they spent on this application that doesn't work yet? Oh, 35 mil. So if that went to a couple of hospitals, is there a chance we could put a few more beds in there? Is there a chance we could take a woman and her children who are being abused and are frightened and worried and have nothing, take them to a safe place and look after them? That's a lot of money, right? And what is the portal all about? I don't even know why they need the portal in the first place. It's a stuff up, and it's a clear disaster from a technology perspective. But then the records that they were using prior to that were also a stuff up and we're also inconsistent. How many of you were asked to update your firearms storage last year or the year before on a spontaneous question from licensing? I was one of them. I'm going, hey, this is round 2. What did you do with the last 5 days? So clearly the record keeping wasn't any good anyway. Who's to say it's going to be any better? And when you go to the portal to observe what you should expect to see there, you get to see what Father Christmas has got stuck in the cupboard, right? And it just doesn't make any sense. And it's not a good spend for the community of West Australia. It is not a good spend.
35 million, the portal gets hacked anyway.
Exactly. And I've got to harp on this point, and I make no apologies for it. The guise of improved safety community is a falsehood. Let me say that again. The whole community safety discussion by government in respect of firearms and introduction of the 2024 bill is a falsehood. It's not true. Along with that, and I think Brian has already brought that up as well, is that can anyone tell me where a firearm was picked up just simply laying around in a Perth street? You know what? They were never there, were they? They were never there. It just begs. Okay, I'm nearly there. Thanks for suffering me out. What I want to say now to government today, please, please, please recognise the effort that the people today have made to come here and demonstrate that they support the disallowance motion and allow it to pass. Let's do that. Let's do that. And in addition to that, and a small piece of information that's floated in over the last week or so, are you familiar with the national rally that's being conducted on the 31st of March? Now, I'm going to go to that rally, not in support of any particular outcome. I'm going to go to that rally because the rally is about respecting and acknowledging the Australian flag as a national symbol. So we're going to find out who's behind that rally. But at the end of the day, I think its initial purpose, its initial intent, and its current visibility says that it's probably going to be the start of something much bigger as time goes on. And my very last point is to the people inside. The people inside this building, I hope they're watching me through their cameras over there, listening through the cracks in the doors. Premier, take the hint. Encourage your team to listen today. We expect an honest and committed government that is approachable and nothing more. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, for those good points. And yes, there is another rally, and we need to be proud. We need to be I came to this country 35 years ago. So I'm an import. And Australia was a tough country with people who spoke their mind. We need to get some of that old-fashioned values back into Australia. We are here to be heard. You are here to be heard. And one lady's just tapped me on the shoulder with a very good point. There's someone missing at this rally, and his name is Roger Cook.
Criminal.
So what do we want to tell Roger Cook? Is he doing a good job? Is Roger Cook looking after you? Do you feel safe under Roger Cook? Thank you. That's exactly what I thought. Now, I would like to also acknowledge another big helper, a man a couple who have been fantastic in helping me put this together. Many of you will know Mark and Sam. Without Mark and Sam, this would not have happened. Their publicity they have given me, the dedication they have put to this effort has been phenomenal. He's been daily helping me along every step, correcting me when I've been going wrong, and it's been an absolute pleasure to work with him. And I would like to ask Mark if he would like to speak. There's no pressure, but there may be something I've missed. So I'm going to ask Mark if he would like to say a few words.
I'd start with well done. Let's start with well done. Every one of you that's standing here is someone, a West Australian, that's standing up for us. This is about us. This is about West Australia's future. So whether you're here for firearms rights, which is a pretty important thing right now, or whether you're here for four-wheel drivers or farmers or fishers or every one of the freedoms that our government is deciding we don't need anymore. The government making decisions for us rather than for us. I could go on lots now. There's lots of stuff in my position where I've heard a lot of heartfelt stories from people who are really hurting with what our government's doing to them. There's a lot of situations that are brewing. There is, be it our wildlife that are going to suffer, or our culture that's going to suffer, or just our humanity that is going to suffer. It is great to see you stand up. It is great to see you here, but it also say, people, there's more coming. We need to be strong about this sort of stuff. We need to be on the side of us, the people. So there's lots more I could go on about, but I really would like to leave it on a couple of things. For those members that are about to vote on this disallowance motion, to hide behind the review, which is a very tactical, very easy political thing to do. We support the fact that these Firearms Acts aren't right, and we're going to put it through a parliamentary review. Largely a lie. Seems like it's something, but by the time it's done, the damage will have been done. And this government has never fixed something hard, so why would they bother fixing that? So, if you want to say that as a member, as you go through this vote, and say, I support a true democratic government, and that's why I supported the review, but I can't support the disallowance, well, we know who you stand for, don't you? When it comes to our police minister saying that we're going to end up with a lawless situation, where we're not going to be able to go, the police are not going to be able to do their jobs and monitor firearms properly when it comes to domestic violence. An outright lie. He knows that. So I ask all our members to vote with your conscience for a better Western Australia, for West Australians, not just for the government. Beyond that, folks, I wasn't planning on having a speech here today. I'm much happier sitting in my lounge room talking to you on my YouTube channel. I want to finish off with, well done. You're standing here. It's great to see West Aussies fighting for West Aussies. And like I said, there's more to come. Well done, guys.
Once again, thank you for everything, Mark, Sam, you've been fantastic. Now look, no matter what happens here today, this doesn't have to be the end. We will see the politicians' colours. There's more days in front of us, there'll be more issues. I will just mention that Steve and Louise Kingston are working in the background on another organisation. Now, I'm not here to promote any organisation, but keep an eye on the spot. Watch what they're doing. Because this is not just shooters. We're here today for shooters and the rural community. But this is about our entire future in Australia and what our government is doing to us. So I'd like to just perhaps finish up by saying that we want your voices to be heard. We want our politicians who are hiding in the offices behind us, when they do their vote on this motion today, to make a very clear choice. We are recording what they are doing. We will see clearly in the Hansard report who voted which way. They have a choice today. And as Mark has alluded, they have to show us which side they are on. So I would ask you to draw your attention to these politicians and tell them we want to disallow the regulations. Now, I want to make that a noisy one. I want you to say those words in unison. Disallow the regulations. Disallow the regulations. Disallow the regulations. Disallow the regulations. Thank you. You are all fantastic. Thank you so much for all being here. You are the stars of this show. Give yourselves a good round of applause. You deserve it. I've just been reminded, I think I did before, but in case I didn't, for those who weren't perhaps early in the meeting, I do want to thank Deb Taylor again for all her hard work. She is trying to remove the stresses and the strains your politicians are putting you under. Absolute champion, and we can get through this. Keep the pressure.
There you go.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Very, very good. You too. Thank you. Alrighty, everybody. I'm terribly sorry about my audio. You can watch today. It shares the show from today. Terribly sorry. My
I'm going to go interview.
Hey, precious. Oh, bye. Oh, bye.
Lovely to see you.
You too. See ya. What was I saying? Oh, my battery ran out, so I had to unplug my mic. So I'm terribly sorry about that. What did you think about the comments up the side? But anyway, that was fantastic. That was really good. Good to see Dr. Brian Walker and, well, the Honourable Dr. Brian Walker from Legalise Marijuana Party speak, and also Rod Caddies from One Nation. That was great. The Honourable Rod Caddies. That was great, and of course everybody else. So thank you all very much for joining me, and make sure you stay relentless. I've got to go and do some other things, but thanks everyone. See ya.